If I don't see you,
good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek. Joining me, as always, is Mikey the Freak.
What's up?
Guys, we are going to be reviewing The Truman Show. But before we get into it, let's go
Love
ahead and
it.
check out that trailer. Shall we?
Yes, shall we? Shall
We
we?
shall.
There it is. We shall.
Comments are still headed.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's see what else is coming to
That's
you now
ironic.
from the largest
Morgan
studio
Freeman?
ever constructed.
Yeah.
And later they would work
Truman
together
Show!
in what? Bruce Almighty?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I love the little.
No scripts, no cue
Morning, Spencer.
How's it
Yeah.
going?
What if you were watched every moment of your life?
How many cameras you got there in that town?
5,000.
I believe Truman
That
is
would
the
be a
first
boring
child to
show.
have been legally adopted by a
It would
corporation.
definitely. Well,
That's
you know
correct.
what?
Brilliant.
This is probably
If
one of the
everyone you knew
first
was pretending.
reality
Look what I got at
shows.
the checkout. Dishwasher safe.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you
That's
can see his
amazing.
balls.
What if your
Oh,
world
yeah.
was make-believe?
Cue the sun. While the
Bumblebee
world he
tuna?
inhabits is
Bumpy
counterfeit,
tuna. Bumpy tuna?
that's how I look.
Your balls are.
Not your type. There's nothing fake about Truman himself.
What if you didn't know it? Until
I mean, he's,
now.
what, 30 some odd years old?
A
in
lot of
this?
strange things have been happening.
Yeah.
Stand by ring cam.
So,
Is he looking at us?
Do you think he knows?
I think I'm mixed up in something. Something big.
so 30 years old of faulty
We
equipment.
accept the reality
Not
with
30
which
years,
we're
but
presented.
Come back in.
Everybody's pretending, Truman. Get out of here. Come and find me. Truman? Truman!
Anything happen?
You may find yourself in another part of the world.
Feels like the whole world revolves around me. Everybody seems to be in on it. I'm going away for a while.
You may tell yourself.
I would love a follow-up on this, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, find out what happened. Like, where
not
did he
in
do?
on it,
Where did he
because
go?
The last thing that I would ever do is lie to you.
Fade up music.
Liar!
That's our hero shot.
Uh,
He's gone.
Okay? Yes.
Cut transmission.
Find him.
Cut transmission.
Where are you going?
You can do it.
How do we stop him? Give me some lightning.
Is that the best you can do?
That's
Cut transmission. I like your pen. I was wondering that myself.
Jim Carrey. The Truman Show. Watch what happens.
All right. Way to
Well,
escape, Truman.
everybody. I know he gets away, and everybody was now. So
Yeah,
that's
what else
funny
on?
shit, though. So you watch everybody in the movie, right? And they're watching him constantly, like every day. Like all these people are just so engulfed of what he's doing, and then when he actually gets out, they're excited. Like you realize your show's over, right? Like
Right.
you know that your show is done. Like, oh fuck, let's see what else is on. But you've been watching the show. Shit, the two old ladies had a pillow with his face on it.
And they'll just adopt a new baby and put him in the world, fix all the equipment, update all the equipment, and watch a new
Yeah,
baby grow up.
they might have a yeah. So it was so weird to think like this was reality television. So in
Yes.
the 90s, which there wasn't much reality television at that point, but like the Surreal Life, Road Rules, what was it? What was the other one? The Real World. That was probably one of the first times I've ever seen reality television. And so they made a movie about basically about reality television, about one person that they're just watching everything that he does. And I think that was a huge concept. At the time, it was a huge concept. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I went on my little tangent.
Oh no,
No, go
you're
ahead.
good. I'm sitting here
No.
laughing at IMDb's description of the Truman Show. An insurance salesman discovers his whole life is actually a reality TV show.
A reality TV show, exactly. But it was just the funny thing. I know I'll kind of go and kind of talk a little bit about it, but I enjoyed this movie then because I mean coming from Dumb and Dumber, to me I thought this was probably, and Liar Liar at the similar time.
Mhm.
This was probably one of his first serious movies.
The Mask.
I th- yeah, like they were all funny comedies, like Slapstick, Ace Ventura. Everything was before this or around
Mhm.
the same time frame. So it was all about comedy, comedy, comedy. Shit, he was just getting done with In Living Color in the early '90s as well. So all we knew about him was how funny he was. So I
Yeah.
think this was probably one of the, without looking at IMDb in all of his movies, I think it was probably one of his first serious type roles, even though it had some comedy in it. He was still, it was, to me it was like 90% serious and 10% comedy compared to the other way around with those
Right.
other movies.
This was one of the first movies that I can remember
Yeah.
seeing Jim Carrey play a role that is not super over the top, um,
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
He's playing a normal guy, basically. It was the first movie to where he was actually able to show off his acting chops. And
Yeah.
dude, this movie's a freaking awesome movie, man. I love the concept of this movie to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's in like a freaking dome that is other than the Great Wall of China is the only man-made
Visible
object
from
visible
Earth.
from yeah, visible from
Visible
space,
from
yeah.
space. Yeah, yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
there was
which to me
no,
is crazy.
yeah, how
Can
big of an area that you have to put this in. Like, I don't think you might be able to do it now, depending on, like, if you go to, like, the Mojave Desert or something that we know is a great mass, that you
yeah,
could do something like this. But the area, yes, I think you could control it. Could you do something like this now? I think you could. I don't think it would be as entertaining because I think what makes reality TV show entertaining now is because it's controlled.
it's
Like
scripted.
yeah, the people are actors. If
Yeah,
anybody out there, and I'm talking to you, all of America, all of the countries that we're in, if you guys think that reality TV show is real, you've got another thing coming
yeah, it's all
because
scripted,
there
yeah.
are there's actors that are in this show that you start to see in other things later on.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't I hate reality television, and it's just because of that, because you're really not watching reality because it doesn't
Right.
happen that way. People don't go over the top
Mm,
because of a certain
but
thing that they do.
now, at the time of filming with the writers' strike and the actors' strike, we're gonna get a lot of reality TV, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we did. The late
Yeah,
'90s brought a lot.
yeah,
MTV brought us Road Rules and Real World. I watched Real World season 1 and 2,
yeah,
and I thought that shit was real because I thought it was.
eh,
It was when the reality came out, and then I'm like,
yeah.
this is bullshit. There's no way this shit's real. This is stupid. And then the surreal life shows up, and so you have all those things that came out, and now you have reality game shows like Hell's Kitchen, and I think that area in that late '90s kind of sparked a lot of reality television.
It did, and the Truman Show, I mean,
Yeah,
you look at these people just so involved with watching a man do everyday life,
I
curious to
think that.
what he's
Yeah,
eating, to what he's, how he's working, all that stuff. I love how when he goes to make love to his wife, they're like, oh, they just show like the wind blowing in the curtains. They don't really show nothing.
yeah. Yeah, and then they talk about brand management, when they had the
Mhm,
coffee and the cereal and the knife, she's doing
mhm.
like an ad, like a commercial, and he's like, "Who are you
Or
talking to?"
the twins pushing him up against that
Oh,
billboard
next to
that
the
changes
billboard.
every yeah.
Yeah, so
Eh
that the brand management I thought was very very innovative when it came to how they promoted different sponsors. I think they were
Mhm.
sponsors. They were sponsors that actually kept the show running. I thought that was very innovative on how they did that. And then when he's missing, how they just completely turned on him. Like they hated
Oh,
his
yeah.
guts. I'm like,
I won't
are you?
say that they
This
hated
is
him, it
your
was their job
job.
to it was their job to protect him and
Yeah,
to make sure they don't find out what, the show's all about. But yeah, I see what you're saying, when he left and was on the sailboat and, he turned up the
mm,
storm to where it almost killed him. Uh,
yeah,
I I get that he's also watching his livelihood walk out walk out the door at this time because he
Yeah,
runs the show.
because
So
yeah, and I don't think that they could have. They even thought about. I don't think they thought about this. I don't think that they said, well, what if he does find out? He's a very naive character when it comes
mhm.
to Truman. He was
Well,
very naive on what was going on, and when they started to let it slip, he started to
can you
kind of
say it's
figure out
really
like something.
naive? I
Well,
mean, you're kind of he grew up in this environment from the very beginning, so your perception of reality is what's presented to you as
lost my
every
light. Sorry.
day. No, you're fine. So if he grew up like this, I mean, he may not know of some outside sources, or he may not know of some other places and stuff. If he's
Yeah,
presented to this as fact, so you never know. I mean,
yeah,
it's just
and I thought it was creative. When they decided to, the reason why he tried to get away, because of the water. They didn't want him
yeah,
to sail because they killed his father off in the ocean. And it was funny. He's doing uh, the 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 interview with who was that another popular an actor. My mind just went blank. Does The Simpsons? He does. It's not Dan Castellaneta. It's
yeah. I can't
man,
remember
you know
right.
what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, right? He's
yeah,
been
yeah,
in
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
been in a bunch of shows. Um, he was in Spinal Tap also. So I can't. I'm sorry, Harry.
You'll get there. You'll get
I'll
there.
get there. I'll get there. Sorry, I know. If I had Steve here, Steve would tell me exactly what he
Yeah,
was, but I'll figure it out. But anyway, he basically said that yeah, we had some mishaps. People trying to get on the set, and I thought that was funny. He
yeah.
jumps jump out of Christmas. He jumps out of the box. Hey, Truman,
Woo,
I'm
I'm on
on TV.
TV.
I'm on TV. I thought that was so funny.
Somebody
How they got
parachuting.
on the
What got me was how did somebody
yeah.
parachute in from a dome?
I think they got onto the set
Hmm.
somehow and then got up on one of the buildings and parachuted down. Because some of the buildings
Okay,
were quite tall.
that's
The
true.
office
Yeah.
building he worked in, or basically it was the facade with the elevator, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Well, I love
Um,
how
it,
everybody's an actor, and that one black guy who's trying to drive the bus is like grinding the gears and
he's like,
stuff like
"Arr," he's
that.
like, I
I
know how to
don't know
drop
how
a
to do
ship.
this. And then later you see him at the ferry. He's like, okay, you can't do that anymore. So they move him to the ferry, and they're like, I can't drive this either.
Like you're an actor, but you're not a
Yeah.
practical actor.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
for
like,
at all.
okay, guys, you should probably look at people's resumes and put them where they need to be. I'm just saying. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
no, yeah, but it was good. That part was
yeah,
good.
yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to ratings. This is one of
Sure.
those movies that I could just watch over and over again. It's one of those. I love this
Oh, I
movie.
got
It's
it.
funny.
It's Harry Shearer. That's it. It was Shearer. That's what
There
I
you
was
go.
like. Yeah, sorry.
I
Apologize.
knew you.
Sorry, folks.
I knew
I
you'd
got
finish
half of it. I
eventually.
got Harry. I knew what movies he was in. I got Harry, and then I'm just like, fuck. I know his last name. I know what it is. That was it.
I
Harry
told you.
Shearer. I'm sorry.
Told you you'd get there.
Yeah,
Uh,
got to keep
but
digging.
yeah, this is one of those movies that, like I said, I could watch over and over. It's shot very well. I love the concept
Yeah.
behind this movie.
Mhm.
It's something that you don't see every day as far as a movie. Somebody growing up in reality TV and they not even knowing that they're part of reality TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna straight up give this a oh man. I'm gonna give it a 9. I really enjoy this
Oh,
movie.
that's
This
a
is one
good
of those
one.
ones
Yeah.
I really enjoy. So, what about you, Mikey the What would you give this?
Yeah, I love Jim Carrey, all of his movies. I love laughing. I love
Mhm.
comedy movies, right? So when I want to laugh, I put on like Ace Ventura, which is probably my funniest movie that he's ever done. The first one and the second one. The second one is
Yes.
just as funny
Well,
as the
we already
first
mentioned it earlier, but
one. Bumblebee Tuna.
your balls are showing. Bumblebee Tuna.
Bumblebee Tuna. So you quote those movies constantly. But yeah, it's like I said, it was a different pace for me
Mhm.
when I first saw it. I did see this in theaters. I did watch this in theaters. I do remember that. I did expect a comedy. So I did expect him to, like The Mask. I expected something funny and kind of
You're
over the
expecting the
top.
over the top, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, shit. I loved him in Dumb and Dumber. Let's go watch the Truman Show.
This is
So
more of an adult comedy, in my opinion. Yeah, more of an adult comedy more than it would be, say,
yeah,
early 20s type frat comedy, like
like an old
Ace
school
Ventura.
or
Yeah, like
yeah.
Ace
It's like
Ventura, The Mask.
silly slapstick.
Yeah,
You don't have to get it. You're just laughing out loud type comedies. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I expected that, and I wasn't disappointed that he had more of a serious role. I did remember walking out of the theaters and like that was pretty good. I said it wasn't funny as I thought it would be, but it had some funny parts.
Mhm.
But like I said, there's several aspects of of the movie that I thought was interesting. That Paul Giamatti, a young Paul Giamatti in this movie, which I didn't know who he was at the time, trying to be the Ed Harris's character, sitting in the chair. Camera one, go to camera one. Camera two, go to camera two. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, he's just
Oh,
sleeping,
yeah.
and I didn't mean. So I thought
Just
that was kind of funny.
trying to teach the ropes.
Yeah, exactly. But Jim Carrey's Jesus Christ, Jim Carrey's character Truman.
We're filming late tonight, ladies and
Yes, we
gentlemen.
are. It's very late. His character Truman, when he starts to kind of figure out there's something wrong and there's something different, they tried everything in their power to change it to where it was like the elevator incident. It was an accident in the elevator or an accident at the building. So she had to leave, and he's like, what are you talking about? So he knew something was wrong. So I think with all that said, I did think it was a great movie. It is a good watch, and it's a movie that you could put on and leave it in the background. I'm completely stunned, and I would recommend it too. So
Definitely.
I'm in an 8.5. I'm not
So we're not
really up
far
to a
off.
9, but
We're not far off.
sorry. But yeah, but 8.5. I would stay with an 8.5 just because I could watch it anytime the movie comes on. I could sit there and watch this movie just because I mean, like I said, I like Jim Carrey and I like
Right.
Laura Linney in the movie, and so there's a lot of good actors in this movie.
There is. I do have some fun facts about this movie.
Yeah.
Ed Harris and Jim Carrey never met during filming.
I can see that. Did they talk to each other, or did he just talk and she know how they talk and then they just kind of listen, but they weren't physically talking to each other?
Right. That's all I got. I can't
Wow.
answer
All
any
right.
follow-ups. Truman was supposed to be just out of high school, but since Jim Carrey was in his 30s, it got swapped from teenage angst to more of a midlife crisis.
I think it fits better like this
Mhm.
than I think if he was a teenager out of school. That was weird, like in
And
college or something.
yeah, the last thing I got is in an early scene, a bottle of vitamin D is on Truman and Meryl's kitchen table, needed for those without exposure to the real sun. So,
Oh, so because they only had lighting, they had to take
hmm
vitamin D, so you can't get the vitamin D that you normally for the sun.
yeah, and so there's a
I get you.
little scientific nod there, medical nod there to make it more believable.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe
So, what do you have for some or for some related reels?
Yeah, so of course I went with Jim Carrey. One of the I don't know, to me I put on here one of the best roles I liked him in was Ace Ventura. So I put Ace
Yeah.
Ventura. Both movies are just slapstick hilarious movies. I liked him in The Grinch. Was a great
Mhm.
movie for the kiddies out there. Dumb and Dumber, and of course Bruce Almighty. The reason why I mentioned Bruce Almighty is because of Morgan Freeman on the
Yeah.
television. I'm like, oh, they're going to work together in Bruce Almighty. So I thought that was kind of funny. Ed Harris, I put on
So
Apollo 13. What?
I
Go
just
ahead.
I gotta mention the mask simply because
Oh yeah,
and only because ever since I mentioned it earlier, the Cuban Pete is just pounding in my head right
call
now.
me Cuban
Yeah,
Pete. I'm the king of
that's
the rumba beat. Whenever I shake my maracas, I go chick chick boom,
Chick
chick
chicka
chick
boom,
boom.
chick chicka boom, chick chicka boom. Yeah, that's just pounding in my head right now. So
And you're welcome.
yeah,
Sorry. tell all the viewers at home, you're welcome
you're
for that,
welcome.
because you're not going to get that shit out of your head either. So Ed Harris, Apollo 13. He was in Top Gun Maverick, the newer Top Gun movie that came out, and also The Rock. He played a great villain in The Rock, which is also a great movie, by the way. Laura Linney. We've got Congo, which is also a great movie with excuse me, Tim Curry, and then Primal Fear. And then what I liked her in was a small television series called Ozark. If you haven't seen Ozark on Netflix, it is a great show.
I haven't seen
Other than that,
Ozark.
you should watch it. You should watch it. Watch the show. Watch it.
Maybe
You can take my account. I don't care. You can watch it. It's fun.
I got
All right.
Netflix.
Other way. Other way. Look left.
I
left.
got Netflix.
Okay, there you are.
I got
I'm over
Netflix.
here. I'm over here.
I wouldn't talk away from you telling me what to do and shit.
Like, no. Look what I can do. Oh.
Sorry, we're just going off in
Sorry.
left field. All right, guys.
That's all I got. A bunch of people, though.
Make sure you check out the last podcast you'd want. That is Steve's podcast. He's not here, but I'm going to promote him anyway. It's a really good show.
Tickle.
Was it Tip the Veal, Try the Staff, all that good stuff. Make sure you check out the Mod Squad Network, the sister channel of the Back to the Retro Review, where we have a gamer show, a horror show, a movie talk show, and a wrestling show. And we're live every Saturday night
for a giveaway.
Yes. If you like what you see here, make sure you do all the YouTuber things. Give us a good old thumb in. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're listening to us via podcast, give us a thumb in anyway. Whatever.
Ooh.
Just share. Yeah.
Share. Tell your friends. Tell your family. It's great. We have so much fun. We know you laugh. We know you laugh at us, and it's great. You can laugh at us or with us. It don't matter.
Yeah, we're watching you laugh at us. We're watching you right now.
We're watching you laugh. Stop laughing. You stop. I see you over there. Stop it.
All right, guys. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak, I am the Bearded Geek saying keep it retro, everybody.
Peace.